to their award when they actually receive their award as recipients at the convention potentially. So it's going to be a wonderful collaboration, as Tom mentioned, and as I've said several times, we're super excited to be involved with MOSHAPE and to make it work. We always want to promote teachers helping teachers, because that's what we do at Open. I mean, all of our resources being completely free, and to have the collaboration with MOSHAPE to be able to promote these teachers who are doing wonderful things in the classroom helps hopefully everybody rise up. What we've seen in other organizations is they have a lot more applicants for their Teachers of the Year, which makes the field more competitive, which recognizes more people, and the cream rises to the top. It makes everyone better. So hopefully that'll be what we see in Missouri as well. So we're just really happy, and we've got several of our Open National trainers, Mary, Drew, and Brandy, already there in Missouri. So I know that they're excited to hear that Open will be a bigger part of MOSHAPE and a bigger part of the state of Missouri with your teachers. So again, appreciate everything that you all did to help get this worked out, and looking forward to working with your team.
Well, Brian, we just want to thank you so much. It was such a great meeting, and also just your willingness to, hear what we collaborated on with that video. And just to bring a little more clarity to that, it's going to be in the style of On the Move, which I know everyone on this call is familiar with. So it's going to be, shot like a 16 minutes documentary. What our goal is to shoot you actually at your school for the winter, and get you actually some live action shots with your students, as well as give you an opportunity to be interviewed. And then lastly, it's going to be really exciting to hear, hopefully maybe a school principal or maybe even a superintendent say some things about you winning that award. And as a special bonus also, I know, Brian, that we're so excited you'll even get a chance to say a few words as well, because this is such a big deal. And we really want to, Brian, like you said, we want to promote our teachers and the excellence and all that they do to serve our students and to serve our state. So again, Brian, on behalf of MOSHAPE, thank you so much for this amazing sponsorship.
Appreciate it, Guy. Thanks so much. And look forward to collaborating in the future to making all this happen. And then, of course, seeing many of you also at Speak Out Day coming up next month.
Yep. Thank you again, Brian.
Perfect. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Isn't that amazing? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Talk about amazing. This is so fun, so exciting, and we're just bringing so much more to our Teachers of the Year. So with that, what we'd like to do now is actually give each of our chairs the opportunity, and briefly in 3 to 5 minutes, share with you the different roles and functions of what they do to serve our state. Now, the other thing I will let you know, and Chris has actually put this in the chat, if you have questions, just type them into the chat. And after our chair speaks, we'll actually read the questions so that they can answer it. And if there are no questions, then we'll move on to the next speaker. But just want to give everyone the opportunity who's on the call. If you have a question, just type it in the chat. We'll make sure that Tom will go ahead and read it. So what I'd like to do now is starts things off with our very first chair that I'm going to introduce, and that is Brad Brummel. Brad oversees our membership services. Their team does an amazing job with a whole lot of things. And I know, Brad, that we are so blessed that this is, I believe, your second year with us. Is that right?
Depends on if you count COVID.
Yeah,
I think number 4 with COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know the time distortion because of COVID. I know, but so what's that, Brad? Yeah, so why don't you talk to us about what membership services does, and certainly maybe some opportunities for our members.
Sure. The committee it's very simple. The committee is to serve the membership with either resources or information that they need to help them do their job, help them serve their students, help them serve their communities. And so a couple examples of how we've done that in the past. The Mo Ready resources that came out during COVID were a product of the committee with a collaboration with other groups as well. The most common example is the newsletter production that comes out quarterly. Be on the lookout for a February newsletter coming soon. So looking forward to that. Inside the newsletter, the team tries to always highlight some MOSHAPE teachers, some MOSHAPE resources, some MOSHAPE activities, things that you can pull away, implement within your classroom. We've tried to make sure that it's picture-based, video-based, and it's just kind of there when you need it. And so it's great to bookmark. It's great to come back and access whenever you're looking for a resource to help you do your job. The committee also tries to look for professional learning opportunities and share that information to benefit our membership as well. If you are interested in helping, you can help in many different ways. One way would be if you know of a teacher, a resource that would be a great highlight within a newsletter. There are forms located in the newsletter that you can submit to share that idea, or you can simply email me. I'll put my email in the chat. And then the second way you could get involved is if you are looking to be more of an active member, you can email your interest in becoming part of the committee, joining our virtual meetings to plan out those newsletters, to plan out those professional learning opportunities. We'd be happy to have you join the team.
Well, thank you, Brad, for certainly sharing that, and certainly put your, if you want to type your email address in the chat, that would be great. And Brad, I'm just going to have you actually introduce Christy, because she is actually as part of your committee. And if you could introduce her, then she can take it from there.
Yeah, I didn't want to steal any Christy's thunder, but the Health Moves Mind team is a part of the Member Services Committee. And so Christy Berry has been a huge lead for our MOSHAPE organization, and just being a champion for Health Moves Mind, being a champion for teachers who are willing to take it on. And so Christy, I'm going to allow you to provide more of an update around your committee.
Thank you, Brad. As Brad said, we're kind of a little subcommittee of member services. I'm going to be a little biased here. MOSHAPE has one of the best Health Moves Minds team in the nation. And I can say that proudly because we are rocking it. And what I mean by that is we have members of our state association that are signed up to lead events at their school that promotes this Health Moves Minds program. We also try to highlight members within the newsletter that Brad was talking about, different coordinators that have sponsored an event, trying to also get them to share their story about one of this amazing community service projects. And when I say community service project, this is the only, I don't like to call it a fundraiser, a community service project that gives back in so many different ways. What I mean by that is your school, your state and national organizations. That's 3 right off the bat. And then if you choose, you can also pick a local charity as well. So that's up to 4 different organizations. And I've never been a part of any other community service project that offers that. So I will tell you, my equipment closet has benefited huge from this program. So much now that I'm giving equipment away to my classroom teachers for the kids to use within their classrooms, and a bunch of different stuff for recess. So it's just building and getting that SEL out there, because not only does this help the kids, but it also helps the adults that we also work with in our communities.
Well, thank you. Go ahead.
And
Sorry.
my committee members, I want to give them a shout out, would be Kyle Salvo, Megan Baker, and Casey Levercamp. So please reach out to any of us if you ever need any help with any of your Health Moves Mind stuff.
And Tom, why don't you just add in about a recent initiative that just happened through our partnership with Missouri Healthy Schools, as we just have done some onboarding as 11 schools are participating and working with Christy and Kyle and her team, launching certainly SEL using the Health Moves Minds program. You have to unmute. You're still muted.
There
we go. Okay.
This is another one of the broad reaches that MOSHAPE has. We're not just a single organization that only pays attention to what we're doing. But as many of you know, we've had this collaboration with Missouri Healthy Schools, and the 1801 grant that Laura Beckman was able to procure for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. The success of this has been so overwhelming that now the new grant that's coming out should give us much more freedom, many more resources to meet our purposes that we've never even before imagined. And so Christy and her group are going to be involved in doing SEL sessions and programs. And it's through the great success that they have had. And Christy has a lot of people supporting her, but I continue to be amazed every day. And I'm one who hears things and sees things that not everyone does, because in our national meetings, in our Zoom calls, in our convention meetings and other meetings we have with Health Moves Minds, Christy is by far the greatest leader in the country. So we need to assist her. We need to have many, many, many more following, as she has gotten people on with Kyle, Casey, and Megan supporting her. Let's all do everything we can, because this comes back to help us as well as help the students, the schools, and everyone involved.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And seriously, I'm going to echo exactly what Tom said. Christy is the best in the business. I know that right now we're currently leading the nation in school signups right now. And Christy, we cannot thank you enough for what you've been doing and how you have built the best team we've ever had moving forward. And we're just so excited with all that you and your team are doing. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, but I also need to say I appreciate our board for supporting this program, because if I didn't have your guys' support, it wouldn't be that much success. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the support you guys give us.
Thank you again, Christy. Now we're going to move to another committee chair, and we're going to actually look at the youth movement. We're going to actually bring right now to the microphone, and we're so excited. We have Abby Lingo. She is our president of the Future Professionals. And Abby, I know that you've been doing a lot of things recently ever since the gavel was passed to us. And I want you to seriously let the future professionals know how they can get plugged in to your committee.
Yeah, so by getting future professionals plugged into our committee, we are all focused around just each other and helping support one another through our schoolings and helping each other on that. That's a big part of our committee. Another big part that me and Ethan are trying to look for is we would love members to join us to help us get the word from what the MOSHAPE board is telling us and educating us about. We want to get that out to all of the colleges. So we'd love representative person to join us from every single college. But we also have this really exciting ideas that me and Ethan, we haven't shared with anyone, and we are going to need an amazing team to help us with this. So I'm calling to all my future professionals who are even interested. This year, we would like to host a future professional night at MOSHAPE. And that involves getting a lot of things put together and a lot of things planned, but we want to have a special little hour just for us to meet one another. So if you love planning events, seriously try to think about joining our committee.
Abby, all I know is this sounds so exciting. I think that I'm going to give a fake ID and just going to say that I'm still in school. So that way you'll at least invite me in. No, that is awesome news of what you're doing. If you could, why don't you put your email address, in the chat again, because we know some people will be probably watching the replay of this, and that way they know how to get in hold of you. So thank you so much, Abby, for all that you're doing as our future professionals president. Now, we're actually going to move to advocacy. And I got to tell you, that means Sherry Beeler. Sherry, we know that you've been part of MOSHAPE a very long time. I'll be honest. You were actually the first person that I actually met when I first came down, and you kind of took me under your wing. And here we are, right? 12 years later. But Sherry, talk to us about what's going on in advocacy, because there's just been so many exciting things that MOSHAPE has really spread our wings on. And we also know that was part of Dr. Docheff's presidency just about 3 years ago. Yeah, he's looking around. No, we're talking about you, but that was your theme. And obviously we've got a committee, and Sherry, fill us up to speed on what's going on with the advocacy committee.
The advocacy committee consists of 8 people. There we go. And we added a future professional this fall. So we're excited to have our first future professional on the committee as well. Our main focus is to educate, advocate, network, and grow. So much like this is to grow our membership and grow our engagement, our advocacy committee is the same thing. We want to educate how to advocate and keep people informed when to advocate so it's not wasted time. And then in the education, you learn to become an advocate. And we're going to start a new series following this with our advocacy committee about be a leader, you are the advocate. And with that, we're going to do some module training, short meetings, but discussion meetings to put things together. So when the time comes to advocate for state or national legislation or to speak up, to educate people in your area, in your school or in your community, then you have the tools. You've not just that you know where they are, but that you've actually already utilized those tools, whether that's a 1-minute elevator speech or writing a letter. And we've not been super active in the last couple of years, simply because there's not been a lot of legislation. But legislation, I know Sean has been involved with it as well, and he's on our committee too, is for those that are watching or watching later, we encourage you to get Legiscan downloaded because it lets you track legislation that you're interested in or things that we'll share with you. Right now we have House Bill 883, and that is concerning our health education and lots going on with it. I'm not going to get into it because that's not my time tonight, but we want you to get Legiscan and ask questions. I'll include my email as well. And Sean can also, you'll have his email tonight at the end, but we're a strong committee getting ready to grow ourselves. So thank you. I can't believe it's been 12 years.
Tell me about it. Christy called me the other day asking me how long I've been on the board. She was trying to figure out how long she's been on the board. And it's really just quite amazing. We're just one big family and it's just so cool. And Sherry, just really quickly, tell everyone also about what you're doing for CSPAP, because again, I know that through our partnership with Missouri Healthy Schools, we've been able to give out, close to $30,000 to, I believe, 11 schools. Yes. And just briefly discuss that, because again, it's a huge initiative and it's a huge way that we are advocating for the profession through the CSPAP initiative.
CSPAP is the Comprehensive School Physical Activity Program. It is through Shape America and the Center for CDC. It is 11 scholarships to schools who applied for those. We made that announcement at convention and had 11 that not just were at convention, but got word, which was the goal, to grow their program. And physical education and CSPAP is the key. It is the most important component. The other components are family and community engagement, recess, before and after school, and then during school. So it utilizes the whole school, your classroom teachers. Christy, thanks for helping your classroom teachers, and recess and all those things. But it's we're excited for the 11 schools. Tom was in there on the meeting as well, and they're going. They've got some great ideas. And then with that, we're also offering half-day and full-day CSPAP quote training. But whatever the focus of the grant is, that school district or any school district could have a free half-day or full day of training for professional development in their school, professional learning. So that could include your health and physical educators, as well as your classroom teachers, administrators, anyone engaged in your school community. Thank you.
Yeah, Sherry, thank you. That's a huge initiative. I do know that Chris and I will be very active on, doing some videos and some highlights from that, as well as with what Christy's doing with the Health Moves Mind. So we're just really excited to see again how Missouri is leading the way in that area. And so transitioning now to, because you brought him up, we might as well go there. Let's bring on Sean Nevels. Sean is our committee chair of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. He also serves on Sherry's committee with advocacy. So Sean, first of all, how are you doing, my friend? And also kind of give us a little lowdown on what's going on with your committee.
I mean, since you asked how I'm doing, I already gave my boy Chris a hard time about the Cowboys, so I'm smiling bright right now and cheesing. But as far as committee goes, and thanks for having me on, Guy. And it's great to see everybody in this virtual space. But as I always start with the EDI committee, the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee, with always giving the backdrop. And that this committee was formed during a pivotal time in our society with COVID as the backdrop, right? And all of our educators around the nation were called to do their best for students in the face of adversity and great odds. So, this committee, though we occupy a great space, this great space socially, we are still health and physical educators dedicated to recognizing and celebrating all students and identities and everything, right? So now that we're kind of back into whatever this new normal is, it's time to just start back to step one, right? Phase one and what that is. And, are we demonstrating culturally relevant practices and inclusive physical education and physical activity in our day-to-day? What about in our classrooms? How does that look? What about our schools? What about our communities? What about this organization? And on top of that, how can we leverage our partner Shape America for relevant content and resources in the space of equity, diversity, and inclusion?
Yeah, Sean, you guys were quite active with multiple sessions back in November and just continuing to bring more awareness to that area. So, if someone wanted to be a member, what kind of things do they actually get to be involved in?
Well, shout out to Brandy in the house, Dr. Brandy Lynch. She's the one that in place of me made that happen, because your boy wears many hats, right? So if you're interested, I will drop my Twitter in the chat. If you want to do a new school, if you want to go old school, you can email me. I can tell you my emails are probably 2 to 3 day delay, because like I said, I'm all over the place. But if you're interested, hit me up. Let's talk. Obviously, what we do on the outside is one thing, but we really, the space we've had with our members in the short time of our committee have been deep discussions, and really a good time just to reflect on ourselves and how we can all do better.
Absolutely. So with that, thank you, Sean, for that update. And we're actually going to bring in Dr. Lynch. Might as well, since how you just gave her a nice plug, as she certainly did some great work with the EDI and doing some presentations on that. So Brandy, you are actually the committee chair for the future directions. And that might be one that maybe our members would like to, really get a better idea. What do we mean by future directions? And then also anything you'd like to add on your involvement with EDI.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll first give Sean a little shout out that we're actually co-leading a session this Saturday that Shape America HPE Speed Learning event is happening. So if you're a member of Shape America, it's free to attend. I think that's right. If you're not a member, it's like $10, but we're going to do a little EDI session there. So anywhere they give us a platform to speak on these important topics, we are absolutely going to take it. And so that's some of our EDI stuff that we really enjoy being a part of, not just at our state, but at our national level as well. As far as future directions go, it's kind of like what it sounds like. It's pretty intuitive that we are a committee that gets together. I have a little helper right here. Hello. That our goal is to basically just consider what to see what's going on in our field, to consider the issues and trends, and basically be that think tank. We are a committee that gets together to formulate ideas, to just like generate ideas. We field member suggestions. We work to articulate strategic initiatives by basically considering the overall goals and objectives of MOSHAPE, so that we can keep our organization just innovative. We can keep us agile. We can keep us forward moving, forward thinking. And so when we get together, we always just have kind of an ideas chart from either what we've heard from our membership or what we've heard in our schools. We have our committee is 7 strong, and we represent elementary, middle, high school, higher ed, health, and everything in between. And so we're always looking for people to fill in even more gaps, to say who has a voice and who wants to use it for good. So we do lots of different things. Think about convention considerations, how we can make convention even more impactful and meaningful for our members. We consider marketing ideas. How can we get the word out to the very corners of Missouri and beyond? We think about membership ideas. I think one of the most impactful initiatives that came out of our committee before I took on as chair, that I think was led by Matt Simmons, was some research and some discussion on the idea of making membership free. And through our Future Directions Committee, that was what led to MOSHAPE going to free membership. And so I think that we have the opportunity to do some really amazing things, and you don't have to have any special skill set or expertise. I mean, look at me, they let me be a part of it. So here we go. Sometimes I think I'm funny. That's what I bring to the table. And so right now we're in the middle of developing a stakeholder survey to kind of see how we can better meet the needs of our membership and how we can get more people involved. Like, we've kind of been exclusive to health and physical education, a little bit of dance, a little bit of recreation, but we're trying to think wider. We're trying to go broader scope to how can we look at, you know, the school nurses, the counselors, the wellness committee, nutrition services, alternative schools. So we want to say, how far can our reach go? Because it doesn't just end at our gymnasiums. It doesn't just end at our courts or our fields. There are many different ways that we can get involved, and we can have a positive impact on students and in our discipline. So we are looking for those people who their friends or their colleagues consider them innovators, they consider them trailblazers, or they consider them troublemakers. We got room for you too. So anybody that has some real strong opinions, you are welcome on the Future Directions Committee.
Oh, Brandy, you are always entertaining. And yes, that may be one reason among many of why you're on that committee leading it. I will certainly give you the self-care and the comedic relief. So I know Tom and I always enjoy talking to you, and I love your ideas, certainly what, you know, you and your committee are doing. And it's going to really change, especially in 23 and 24, a lot of things. And I just cannot wait for our February board meeting at the end of next month, because I know you're going to be given an opportunity. Actually, every committee chair will be given the opportunity to share their big 23 plans with us. Also, even some going into 24. So thank you again, Brandy. And again, why don't you put your information in the chat. So if anyone would like to be part of the Future Directions Committee, you can contact Brandy. And now we're going to shift gears to Dr. Jody Lease. And Jody, you head up the Initiatives Committee. And, you know, I think, again, it's one of those things where it may seem like it's obvious, but it may not be. So maybe if you could, for our great members, maybe share a little bit about what your committee does and maybe what you're looking for if people were interested in being a member of your committee.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Guy, very much.
Yeah.
Initiatives Committee, well, what does that do? I was told earlier that some people don't know what that means. It means that we create and initiate new ideas. We, for the MOSHAPE membership, including professionals, future professionals, and individuals who are not members but should be. How do we even reach out to those teachers? I mean, it's free membership, just as was mentioned by Brandy. We have great resources, great people to network with. Why would you not want to be a part of MOSHAPE and this great, amazing organization? So in the past, we've created surveys. We started a research project, but that was pre-COVID, and COVID kind of put a squash to that. We've sent out thank you letters. We work on connecting the present members with the future professionals, because we like to support our future professionals because they're our future. They're very important. We want to try to connect our present teachers with our future teachers to get them connected to support one another, because this committee, this board cannot do everything for everyone. So we'd like to see everybody get connected, to have that support, because I think it helps in teaching and everything that we do and with our mission. And we try to help the current teachers guide and model what quality health and physical education can do for their students. And so just like Brandy had said, she had mentioned that their committee is working on initiatives too. And over the years, as we are meeting and trying to brainstorm, what do our members need? What should we put in a survey to ask? What do our members need? All our other great committees are sometimes working on similar but different ideas. So we try to either help and assist those other committees or maybe change our perspective a little bit of what area can we get into that really needs some focusing in on. So we don't overlap too much.
Yeah, but again, the initiatives is so important because it's also taking a look at, the current conditions of things that we need to be adjusting to, which you and I have had that conversation before. So again, I cannot wait to hear your board report and certainly your ideas for coming up with 23 of some of the leading our team with the initiatives, and certainly, putting some great ideas to our board again at the end of February. So thank you, Jody.
Well, thank you
For explaining what initiatives are. So yeah, and so we only have one committee left, and I will just be very honest and transparent. I'm slightly biased, only because Tom Lowry appointed me to be the very first chair of that committee. That's marketing and communications. And Tom, I'll just be honest with you. I wasn't sure what I was doing on day one, but I think I kind of figured out by, I don't know, 365 days later. But it's been an amazing ride. It's been really amazing what our marketing communications does. And all I know is that could have never happened if it wasn't for Mary Dreemeyer and this next guy, who is the chair of marketing communications. And that is none other than Chris Stehle. Chris, seriously, I cannot thank you enough for all that you've been doing for us, heading now onto your 4th year, because I can remember it was just me, you and Mary when we started. And then, when I got involved, then getting involved with the executive committee, and it was really easy to, step away from that position because I know it would be good in hands with you. So why don't you let everyone know, because we've grown a lot, your team's grown a lot with marketing communication. So share with everyone who may be interested some of the things that you all do.
Yeah, Guy, thank you for putting this together for all the committee chairs. It's really awesome. I apologize, I'm in my car at the referee a high school basketball game and just finished, so I'm here. But so marketing communications, a lot of people wonder what that entails. And, Mary, even though she's technically not on the committee, she still is on the committee because Mary takes care of all of our mass communications through emails.
Yeah.
We kind of, Mary and I talk back and forth about what we need with that. And then obviously you and Tom as well from the executive committee standpoint. But what our goal is and our main purpose is exactly what it says, is the marketing and communication. So briefly about the marketing side, if you have like a passion for maybe learning how we do these sponsorships and those things, the sponsorship program really took off this past year. And I know, Guy, I'm going to be very involved with you with that. And how do we take that and communicate it with our members and market not only those sponsors, but also the brand of MOSHAPE, right? So we talk about how we're going to film the videos, the thumbnails, and all those things. So that kind of on the marketing side, if you find yourself liking to do graphics and work with maybe Photoshop or Canva or whatever you like to do, if that's something you'd love to do for our state association, please let me know. We also, with the communication side, we do interviews. The MOSHAPE Minute is coming back, and I'm so excited as it's been a couple years since I hosted that show, and I'm really excited as I will be bringing on some new people to help me host these shows. So if you feel like you're good at interviews and interviewing people, this is another thing that you could do for this committee. If you think you're good with TikTok or Twitter or Instagram, that's our big thing. I have 2 phenomenal people here on the show today that's on my committee, Abby Lingle, who is taking over our TikTok account. And, I'm working with her on a lot of stuff of communications with our future professionals and all those things. And then Danielle O'Neill, who I'm going to slowly take under my wing just to kind of teach her the ins and outs of everything. Danielle has ran our Instagram the past 2 years. for MOSHAPE during convention time, and she does some great job with content. You'll be seeing her a lot more in interviews. And another thing I'm looking for, is we also have, with communications, we have to have somebody that communicates for the communication. So for instance, somebody that can help me set up interviews with guests and those things. So, and obviously the big thing, like I've already kind of briefly mentioned, is the social media. We're in charge of all the social media. Our social media team is kind of a sub team of marketing communications, kind of like Brad Brummel with member services has the newsletter with Christy Spears and them. So if if you're interested in any of that social media, or just maybe sitting back and learn, because really the coolest thing about my committee is I basically get to work for every other one of our board members. If we need to advocate for something, if we need to create an initiative for something, I get to help everybody get the message out. And quick plug, because it's already been brought up and this is very, very, very important. So you already heard Brandy and Sean mention a little bit about this weekend, the Shape America, speed learning event. I am actually on the elite team at Shape America that helped put this event together. And Missouri should be very proud, as we are the only state with multiple people presenting at this, as Kyle Salvo is presenting on Health News Mind. Sean and Brandy are doing an EDI session, and I am doing a session on how to advocate through social media. So if you kind of want to learn more about what we do at MOSHAPE on the social media and marketing communication side, that is a great way for you to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes of how we do things. So if you want to know more about the speed learning event, please let me know, as I've helped coordinate that. And kind of like Sean, if you want to reach out to me, it's the best way to do it is through Instagram or Twitter, because my email is backed up as a football coach, teacher, and a chair. So if you want to email me, you can. I'll put that in the chat, or you can just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at Coach Stehle PE. And just really from the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you for doing this. And I love our board, man. These past 4 years have been fun, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Aw, Chris, man, put me in a moment right now. No, that was awesome report, and so exciting what your team's doing. And all I want to say is I just feel so blessed that we've got truly an amazing board. We have a board of leaders, and what I'm most excited about is that we have leaders who knows that their number one job and their number one responsibility is to develop more leaders. And that's what excites me about this board at this time. And that's why, Abby, we kind of came up with this one together. Our theme for this year in 23 is our time, our legacy. And I know that our board is going to certainly direct those initiatives and efforts as we meet next month for our board meeting. And with that, Tom, I cannot close out the show without you giving you the final word. So your thoughts on tonight, and certainly maybe that call to action for those that may want to get involved with certainly any of our committees.
Well, Guy, when you and Chris were floating this idea of a town hall, I was immediately for it. I was hoping that it would be successful. And in listening to all these talented people that we have running the show and the way that they work together, I'm still blown away with the quality of the leaders that we have. Does that mean that we're happy to be where we are? No. As a leader, you challenge yourself. As a leader, you challenge others to join in. And I think that's my last word for tonight, is that we've come a long ways. There's still a long ways to go. Or as I said in a national presentation a number of years ago, we're just barely scratching the surface. And there's a lot of surface to scratch. We need to reach out to others. We need to bring people into our organization. We need to have other organizations be aware of what we do, and we have to find ways to collaborate with educational organizations throughout the state. And as Sherry mentioned, we have to be aware of all of the issues that we face on the legislative side and how we work together to promote our product and be able to be recognized for the quality programs we have. So I cannot thank you people enough, not just for your contributions tonight, but for your year-long dedication to our work. And yes, at the end of February, we'll have some marching orders that are pretty detailed and pretty strong. We've got a long ways to go, but we have the team to do it. Thank you all for participating.
Thank you, Tom. And I just want to thank all our committee chairs. Thank you for a job well done as always. And I just want to recognize a few people who are just, I mean, again, they're just a part of our team and part of the fabric of who we are. And that is, first of all, with Julie Lukanoff. Julie, like I said, so excited that you are now our president-elect. And I can just say this, we communicate quite a bit, and we're always communicating with Tom. And it's just so great with all of the experience that you've had from, being one of our past presidents, both at the regional level as well as, here at MOSHAPE. I've learned so much from you. Also, we got with us past President Dennis Dochev. Dennis, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would have ever gotten into advocacy had it been not for you wanting to make it your theme, which it was one of the best things that happened, especially during COVID. We endured through that time. That was a very challenging time, and we were able to do that. And also we have, I'll be honest with you, she is the glue to the whole organization. That's Mary Drewmeyer. Mary, between your technical expertise, all your editorial assistance sometimes on things that I send you, and just really the staple that you've been to this organization. We are so indebted to all that you do for us, especially on that technical side, which most of us have no idea what you're doing. And it's great to have your leadership in that capacity. So we want to say thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. And also Kyle Salvo. Kyle, what can I say? Every time you see me, you do a Health Moves Minds event, the next thing you know, we see on a rooftop, and you're getting MOSHAPE in the news, national, or I think even nationally the last time, with certainly ABC News out of New York. But Kyle, again, just thank you all that you and Christy do, and certainly this coming up weekend again with another presentation. And Christy Spears, all I know is Brad Brummel. When the newsletters, I say it every time I get a chance to see the rough drafts. Christy, what you and your team's doing is just phenomenal. I mean, really phenomenal on the depth, the right amount of content, the great content, keeping all our members up to speed on what's happening every quarter. So I just want to thank you so much. And certainly, and anyone else that certainly joined tonight, Danielle, part of our marketing communications, and thank you for being here. And then lastly, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Julian? Jolene, right? Yeah, Jolene, thank you for being here tonight. Obviously, we're really excited that you are here. So I just want to thank everyone that is here tonight. And again, if my final word is this, if you want to get plugged in, we would love to have you. All I can say is this committee work changed my life. I never thought I'd be president someday. And all I can say is I got the opportunity to serve on the marketing communications and then certainly the executive committee. So you can see right there in the chat, everyone has put in their contact information, and we just want to continue to grow these amazing teams that we have here at MOSHAPE. And just want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. And if you catch the replay, certainly again, feel free to reach out to anyone. And just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all our leaders. Thank you to all our members. And just as a final reminder, we do this all for you. We are here to serve you. And, we just want to just thank you all for the amazing work you do each and every day. And to certainly all our frontline teachers who do a lot of sacrificing to be great in the classroom. So with that, Tom, we're going to call this a wrap. And thank you all for joining us tonight on an amazing show for our town hall leadership meeting. Signing off. Have a great night.